CAA verdict, and questions have been cast on the motives for these judgments. Questions have been cast on the top court of the country by BBC. Now, they have their own motives for doing it, but never should a Chief Justice of India, former Chief Justice of India, be giving answers as a private citizen on our top court's judgments.
Absolutely, Rhythm. Also, talk to us about the interview that the former Chief Justice of India had given to the BBC, wherein he had actually defended upholding the abrogation of Article 370, also when spoke to him about CAA.
This is not only about CAA or Article 370, but the larger point that the former Solicitor General was trying to make, and that is judges should speak through their judgments. For many, many decades, we have seen in India and in the courts in India, it is only through their written word that the judges spoke about. Suddenly, to have them speak about their judgments and reasons for their judgments and give explanations is a new phenomenon which Mr. Salve is actually speaking against, rebuking, reproaching them, and also warning the former Chief Justice and possibly warning others from trying to speak out about such judgments, which is not needed. This is also a wake-up call to former judges who actually today have started speaking out about judgments that have taken place in the top court of the country.
Absolutely, Rhythm. Also, point to be noted here is that it is the state media, BBC, which is now trying to question Indian judges and essentially trying to raise question on why a verdict was or was not upheld, and why would they have the right to even question what the Indian judges are doing and meddling into Indian affairs?
Well, not the first time, not the second time, but the BBC is up to its old antics of always trying to create a dangerous game, that there is some sort of pressure, that there is and trying to do things to destabilize India and the courts. And we've always said that this is not going to happen. They're not going to be able to do so. They're going to fall flat on their face. But that's the reason why one has to be extremely cautious when facing such questions from a foreign media that has their own motivations and falling into the lap and even giving answers when it comes to certain questions that are raised by them that should not have been raised. Who is the BBC to actually be raising questions on our Indian court judgments?
Absolutely, Rhythm. Also, Mr. Salve had said that it is very, very dangerous to give an interview on judiciary, especially when you talk to foreign media on that. What are the repercussions of that?
I believe the largest picture is why it's dangerous is that no foreign country should be questioning India or our Indian courts. Not only was questioned, but these judgments are very critical to India. These judgments are very critical to India's polity. And to raise questions on them is actually questioning our motives on trying to have certain respectable things brought up into our country. Whether it's Article 370 that was voraciously heard in the top court of the country or CAA that was also heard in the country, the fact that these questions are being put, and this is what Mr. Salve told me, why should these questions even be there? Who is the BBC to put the Indian courts on trial? But the larger picture, this dangerous motive, are they trying to say that we or the Supreme Court has forgotten its constitutional duty? I think the fact that he mentioned constitutional duty and the top court is extremely serious, and this is more about the kind of interview and questions that were being put by the BBC. So I would say not only the fact that these questions were answered, but also the larger fact that these questions should not have been given by the BBC. One has to understand this is the kind of language they will use. One has to understand their motives, and one has to ensure that judges speak through their judgment and not go on interview sprees to foreign media that will obviously have their dangerous motivations.
Absolutely, Rhythm. Thank you for speaking to Republic. Thank you for sharing those insights. An extremely crucial interview there of the top jurist Harish Salve, who is now hitting out at the former Chief Justice of India for not just giving an interview to BBC, but also defending the actions, the judgments that he upheld during his tenure. With that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. But after the break, we'll get you the details on the Stampede case, which has killed 18 people and injured 11. The essential question remains on what actually led to the stampede. All that and much more after a break.
and support President Trump. We have good conversation today. Our first meeting, not last, I'm sure, and really what we need to speak more, to work more, and to prepare the plan how to stop Putin and finish the war. We want peace very much, but we need real security guarantees, and we will continue our meetings and our work, and we will be very happy to see General Kalak also in Ukraine in this closest time.
Мирна угода не може бути підписана в Мюнхені. Ну, тому що це Мюнхен. І тут немає президента. І тут ми пам'ятаємо, які речі були підписані колись. І тому
What I want people here to know is that at least for the Senate,
мирна угода може бути тільки план про закінчення війни, який передусім повинен бути проговорений і підтриманий між Україною, президентом, і Сполученими Штатами, виключно президентом. Також обов'язково треба важлива роль для країн Європи, тому що ми говоримо про гарантії безпеки як головний момент в будь-якому документі про припинення війни або закінчення війни, гарантії безпеки для України, для всієї Європи. І Україна є частиною вже Європи і буде частиною рівноправною Європейського Союзу.
Team India is all set to embark on a special journey yet again, the journey of reclaiming the coveted Champions Trophy. It has been almost 12 years since India last won the Champions Trophy, and they'll like to replicate this heroic feat once again. India recently defeated England by a margin of 3-0 and set the tone perfectly, which can lead the men in blue toward a victorious campaign. But how easy or tough is it going to be? How settled is the Indian side, and are all the combinations working? This is something that needs to be spoken about. Ace pacer Jasprit Bumrah will be out of action for Team India, and that is a huge setback. Bumrah played a huge role in India winning the T20 World Cup last year, and skipper Rohit Sharma will dearly miss his services. India will expect that youngsters such as Arshdeep Singh and Harshit Rana step up in order to solve India's bowling woes. India's bowling department performed exceptionally well during the recent India vs England series, but the conditions in Dubai will be far more different than what the Indian bowlers got in their own backyard. The wickets in Dubai tend to be slow and might end up helping the spinners. This will be a major challenge for Gautam Gambhir and the entire think tank. Will they go with two spinners and choose to remain pace-heavy? Or do they have any other ideas in mind? India have a pretty decent enough pace bowler in the form of Hardik Pandya. An all-rounder like Hardik Pandya doesn't come up every day. The Mumbai Indians skipper is equally good and effective both with the bat and the ball, and can strike at regular intervals. India can also field three spinners including the likes of Ravindra Jadeja, Akshar Patel and Varun Chakravarti. But where does it leave Kuldeep Yadav? When compared with Varun Chakravarti, Kuldeep Yadav tends to be a bit more dependable with the bat. But Varun's accuracy is something that has bamboozled English batters on their tour to India, but that might just steam Gambhir and his think tank to pick the Kolkata Knight Riders star ahead of Chinaman Kuldeep Yadav. All eyes will be on Mohammad Shami, who is India's most experienced pacer. It is a complete shootout between Arshdeep and Harshit as India's second seamer. Gautam Gambhir, Rohit Sharma and the coaching staff will have to brainstorm and get clarity on what they expect out of the bowlers, as this will be crucial to their Champions Trophy ambitions.
Eighteen people killed in Stampede at New Delhi railway station on Saturday evening. Railways orders high-level inquiry. Sources say that a wrong announcement was made that led to the confusion and chaos at the railway station.
प्रयागराज से गाड़ी आ रही थी 16 पे और 14 नंबर पे प्रयागराज जाने वाली गाड़ी का अनाउंस हुआ था। उसी में लोगों को समझ में नहीं आया, इधर से उधर भागे। अब प्रशासन कितना संभालेगा।
Key eyewitness in the case speaks to Republic, says chaos was caused after the announcement. Union Railways Minister meet Home Minister Amit Shah, briefs him about the mishap that happened yesterday.
का कोई मतलब है, फालतू हुकूमत।
Politics ensues over Stampede case. Opposition blames government for the negligence. RJD chief Lalu Yadav demands Ashwini Vaishnav's resignation, says Kumbh is useless. And we start this edition with the top story that is coming in from the national capital, where 18 people have lost their lives and 11 people have been injured due to stampede that took place last night at platform number 14 and 15 at the New Delhi railway station. Among the victims, 14 of them were women and 5 were minors, out of which 2 of them were below the 10 years of age. Meanwhile, the centre has taken up the matter, taking stock of the situation and assessing the Stampede tragedy. Republic brings you the full story from the ground about how this catastrophe unfolded, the desperate attempts to save lives and the unanswered questions about how such a disaster was allowed to happen. On your screen are the timeline of the stampede that took place yesterday. 11:20 p.m. is when the Railway Ministry had issued statement over the stampede. Remember, the stampede broke out at around 10 p.m. 11:20 was when the first statement was released. Late at night is when Delhi Police Commissioner had arrived at the station to assess the situation. There were bodies that were taken on a trolley and shifted to hospital. LNJP Hospital and the Lady Hardin Hospital are the 2 hospitals where the injured were shifted. 11 of them have received grievous injuries, many of whom are being treated. Prime Minister Modi and President Murmu condoled the death that happened due to the stampede. A high-level inquiry has been initiated also in the case. We also have Akhil live with us, who is reporting live from the New Delhi railway station. Akhil, you have been there at the railway station since morning. The situation that we see yesterday in our visuals is extremely questionable, keeping in mind the huge rush that the railways would witness, keeping in mind how the devotees are rushing to Mahakumbh. Wasn't there any security measure, any barricading that was there at the railway station where the stampede took place?
See, if you see at this point, I was spoken to several senior officials and they are saying that there was a confusion. The first confusion was regarding the Prayagraj name, because if you see, there were two different trains, one named as Prayagraj Express, second one was Prayagraj Special. Prayagraj Express was at platform number 14 where I am standing right now. Prayagraj Special was at platform number 16. So there were two different trains on two different platforms. So what happened that initially there were people who were standing on platform number 12. They thought that the announcement which was being made on platform regarding platform number 16 was of platform number 12. So at that point in time, people started moving from platform number 12 side towards platform number 16 side. Here you can see, I would like to request my Vijay to move forward and show you the visual at this point in time of this entire railway station. So at this very platform, on platform number 14, what took place? There were two different trains. One is Bhubaneswar Rajdhani, which was delayed. Second one was Swadanta Senani Express, which was also delayed, and at that point in time there was a Prayagraj Express. So there were three trains passengers, Swadanta Senani Express, Bhubaneswar Rajdhani and Prayagraj Express. Three trains passengers were present at that point in time last night around 9:30 p.m. on this very platform. So there were large number of crowd that was present, and after that another announcement was made regarding platform number 16, and then people started moving, they started rushing towards this very stairs. Here you can see, I would like to move a little bit forward and show you the visuals of this very platform. Here you can see, so people started moving to that direction, and then what we have seen that at the tri-section, here you can see, at the tri-section, some people were coming from the side of platform number 12, which is towards the Paharganj side. If you talk about towards my right, which is the Ajmeri gate side, some people started moving from Ajmeri gate side. So from two different sides, people were started to arrive over here. And where I'm standing right now, this is the various stairs. Opposite to this various stairs is a escalator. So few people were coming from the stairs side, and from another direction, from the north direction, people started coming through escalators also. So there were four different directions. People started reaching to this one single location from four different directions when that stampede broke out, in which 18 lives have been lost. And on the investigation part, if you see right now, Railway Ministry has formed a two-member committee of senior officials, and in that committee I was spoken to the chief commercial officer of Northern Railway, and he said that we have already recovered all those CCTV cameras which were installed. Here you can see, I would like to request my Vijay Pavis to show you the visual of this CCTV camera that is installed over here. On this very platform, there are 6 to 8 CCTV cameras installed. So the DVRs of all those CCTV cameras have been procured by the railway team, and now they are investigating. Apart from that, I just spoke to the DCP of Railways, Mr. KPS Malhotra, and he has said that simultaneously they are doing that work, and they are collaborating with the RPF team in the security arrangements, and he has said that at this point in time we have deployed more security personnel at New Delhi railway station to keep in mind any movement of trains which is going towards Prayagraj. So there is a special arrangement being done by the RPF team and Delhi police team, keeping in mind that large number of people can even gather this evening also when the next train will go towards Prayagraj. Back to you in the studio.
Absolutely, Akhil. Also, the railways knew that owing to last few days that is left for the Mahakumbh, the crowd will swell up. So were there any preemptive measures taken into account? Because what we did see on our screens is that visuals that came in yesterday to our newsrooms, there were only 2 police personnel that were trying to handle a crowd of about 1,000. So were there any preemptive measures taken in place by the officials at the station?
Absolutely not. If you see earlier what has happened last year, because I have traveled in such trains earlier in the past, and I have seen the crowd, large number of people, even people on running trains, people running tickets, even people are on like platform tickets. They take platform tickets and then they just sit on that train, and then they try to bargain with TTs regarding the fare tickets. So most of the people who basically goes in such trains, so it's not Duronto Express or Vande Bharat Express. So it's an economy class train. So what happens in such trains, happens that people first take a running ticket and then they enter into the train, and once the train starts moving and once the train leave the platform, basically, then they start to bargain with the TC, and then they get the ticket for sleeper class. So this is what usually happens. So last evening, what has happened that a large number of people from different sides, not only from platform 12, from platform 13, 14, 15. So there were 4 different platforms. From the crowd of 4 different platforms tried to arrive at this very platform where I am standing to get to board Prayagraj Express, which led to the confusion with Prayagraj special train. And after that, what we have seen that unfortunate mishap took place in which 18 lives have been lost, which include women and children as well.
Right, absolutely, Akhil. Thank you for sharing those details. We'll keep coming back to you as and when there are updates in the case. Meanwhile, Republic also spoke to DCP Railways KPS Malhotra on the New Delhi railway station mishap. Listen in to what he had to say.
हमारी तरफ से जो प्रोसीडिंग थी दैट वाज इंक्वेस्ट प्रोसीडिंग वी हैव डन एज पर द टाइम फ्रेम. उसके अलावा जो भी इंसिडेंट कल हुआ उसके जो भी फैक्ट्स हैं दैट आर बीइंग प्रोब्ड बाय द रेलवेज एंड दे हैव फॉर्म्ड अ वेरी हाई पावर्ड कमिटी with the esteemed members. Let them come up with the expert opinion. So we'll be waiting for that.
Did you recover all those CCTV cameras, footages which have been installed over?
That is being done by railways.
Right. And what the next step? Authorities. What's the next step forward in the inquest?
Yes.
What's the next step forward in that time?
As far as that investigation is concerned, is a part of railway authorities. As far as management of the situation is concerned, is a part of RPF and us being Delhi police in charge of the railway station. So we are doing that, right.
Did RPF mention anything to the Delhi police about the security arrangements over here? Because there was a large number of people who have gathered on platform number 14 at that point in time when the incident took place.
Yesterday, no doubt the crowd was unexpectedly high. And there was some delays as well. And those points, I think what happened yesterday is definitely very important point. But let the expert opinion come on that. What's happening today is the most important point right now. So let us do that.
Right. So are you taking any special measure today onwards regarding any trains going towards Prayagraj?
They have regularly deploying the special trains. And even the regular trains are being run for Prayagraj, and whatever footfall is there, it's being managed.
Meanwhile, Republic also confronted Northern Railway officer Narsingh Dio with tough and pointed questions over the station's Stampede tragedy. Here's what he had to say.
Right, I'm joined by a senior RPF official. क्या सिक्योरिटी की चूक है? 18 लोगों की जान गई है. क्या ये सिक्योरिटी की चूक है? 18 लोगों की जान चली गई है. इसके लिए कौन जिम्मेदार होगा?
ओके सर, आप यहाँ पे स्पॉट पे आए हैं.
जिम्मेदार कौन है?
आप एक करके बात करिए. आप बताइए.
18 लोगों की जान गई है. इसके लिए कौन जिम्मेदार होगा? Right now, I'm joined by senior RPF official. Just a second. Yes. So here you see, I'm going to move forward and try to speak to senior officials over here. Just a second.
प्लेटफॉर्म बदलने के बारे में कोई सूचना मिली आपको?
अच्छा, जिम्मेदार कौन है? कोई ना कोई तो जिम्मेदार होगा ना. रेलवे को इसकी जिम्मेदारी लेनी पड़ेगी. 18 लोगों की जान गई है. आप जस्ट आस्किंग अ क्वेश्चन. लेट मी जस्ट आस्क अ क्वेश्चन. 18 लोगों की मौत हो गई है, उसके लिए जिम्मेदार कौन है? 18 लोगों की मौत का जिम्मेदार कौन है? सर, कमेटी बनाई गई है, उसके आप मेंबर है. कोई जानकारी मिली थी? जो कमेटी बनाई है गई है, उसके आप कोई जानकारी के लिए जिम्मेदार. Hey, you see, I'm just trying to ask question. Could you please allow me to ask question? I'm just asking a question. So hey, you see, we have been just trying to ask question to those senior officials, and they are saying that at this point in time, the investigation is going on. We cannot comment on it.
And even while there are several contradictions in what the railways had to say, first when the stampede broke out and later in the morning, however, one thing that remains constant is what the eyewitness have to say. Listen in to their ordeal.
इतनी भीड़ मैंने सन 81 से रेलवे में भर्ती हूँ, यहाँ पर कुली का काम कर रहा हूँ. मैंने ऐसी भीड़ कभी ज़िंदगी में नहीं देखी. तो ये अनसा हुआ, प्रयागराज स्पेशल भेज रहे थे ये लोग, उसको 12 नंबर से चेंज 16 नंबर कर दिया. तो 12 नंबर की पब्लिक 16 पे आई और बाहर की पब्लिक जब 16 पे जाने लगी तो एकदम बच गई पब्लिक. इसके लीटर और जीने पे पब्लिक गिर गई. कुली भाइयों को ठीक पड़ा. कुली भाई दौड़ के आए पूरे कुली भाइयों ने रास्ता ब्लॉक किया, ब्लॉक करके पब्लिक को रोक के और लाश निकाली। हमने खुद ने एम्बुलेंस में लोड की।
अच्छा, आपने लाशें खुद निकाली हैं?
खुद निकाली है साहब।
कितनी लाशें निकाली आपने?
15 हमने लोड किए और आगे पता नहीं है, 15 हमने लोड किए।
तो किस तरह का मंजर था कि आपने जो देखा होगा?
अरे साहब, खाई जूता पड़ा, खाई कपड़ा पड़ा, पब्लिक भच गई एकदम, दब गई नीचे पब्लिक दब गई एकदम।
ये 9 से 10 बजे के बीच।
अच्छा, उस वक्त यहाँ पर कितने लोगों की भीड़ मौजूद थी?
भीड़ थी गाड़ियों,
तकरीबन कितने लोग थे?
ये तो सॉरी।
अच्छा, ये जो यहाँ पे ट्रेन थी वो कौन सी ट्रेन आके लगी हुई थी?
यहाँ रेगुलर ट्रेन है जो सेनानी थी, यहाँ पे कुछ ऐसा नहीं हुआ।
अच्छा, ये 12 नंबर पे जब भीड़ इकट्ठा हुई वहाँ पे, तो क्या अनाउंसमेंट हुआ था उस वक्त?
अनाउंसमेंट तो हमेशा होते रहता है, 5 मिनट 2 मिनट पे अनाउंस होता है।
क्या अनाउंसमेंट क्या हुआ था? 16 नंबर की तरफ मूव करने के लिए कुछ अनाउंसमेंट हुआ था?
उधर 16 से प्रयागराज से गाड़ी आ रही थी 16 पे, और 14 नंबर पे प्रयागराज जाने वाली गाड़ी का अनाउंस हुआ था। उसी में लोगों को समझ में नहीं आया, इधर से उधर भागे। अब प्रशासन कितना संभालेगा?
नहीं, आप तो बहुत काम की बात कर रहे हैं। आप कह रहे हैं कि प्लेटफॉर्म नंबर 14 से जो है वो प्रयागराज जाने वाली गाड़ी लगी हुई थी, प्लेटफॉर्म नंबर 16 पे प्रयागराज से ट्रेन आ रही थी, उसको लेकर के कुछ कन्फ्यूजन हुआ, ये कह रहे हैं आप? क्या हुआ?
ये पैसेंजरों को कन्फ्यूजन हो गया होगा कि ये 16 नंबर पे गाड़ी जाने वाली आ रही है, तो इसलिए लोग यहाँ से चल गए, इसमें गिर उड़ गए।
तो आप ये कह रहे हैं कि 12 नंबर पे जो लोग मौजूद थे, 12 नंबर प्लेटफॉर्म से नहीं गए लोग?
यहाँ तो रेगुलर गाड़ी स्वतंत्र से आने नहीं थी।
कहाँ से लोग 16 की तरफ भागे?
ये 12-14 से, 14-15
और 15 पे आप कह रहे हैं कि प्लेटफॉर्म नंबर 14 और 15 पे जो लोग रुके हुए थे वो प्लेटफॉर्म नंबर 16 की तरफ भागे?
जी।
आपने हाशमी जी क्या देखा कल रात?
मैं बहुत भयानक मंजर था, हमने अपनी ज़िंदगी में ऐसा भयानक मंजर नहीं देखा। हम 16 नंबर के बाहर काम कर रहे थे, रोज़ की तरह जैसे करते हैं। एकदम चीखने चिल्लाने की आवाज़ आई, रोड में बिल्लाने की आवाज़ आई, बच्चे रो रहे थे, चीख रहे थे, चिल्ला रहे थे। हम लोग सारे कुली वहाँ से भागे। हम भागते हुए आए और आकर के हमने देखा तो कुछ बच्चे दबे हुए, कुछ औरतें दबी हुई हैं, बच्चे भाग रहे हैं, औरतें भाग रही हैं, लोग उसके ऊपर गिर रहे हैं। अब हम लेकर के उनको उठा करके लेकर के और बाहर भागे 16 नंबर के बाहर। वहाँ भी एम्बुलेंस थी, वहाँ भी हर चीज़ थी, लेकिन भगदड़ इतनी तेज़ थी कि उसमें कुछ तो वहीं के वहीं ख़त्म हो गए, कुछ जो बाद में ख़त्म हुए, कुछों को हम लेकर के भागे। कुछ उनकी बॉडी इतनी हैवी थी कि वो हम पे चल नहीं रहे थे। हम 4 कुलियों ने उसको पैर पकड़े, हाथ पकड़े, तब जा करके बाहर निकाला है। कुलियों ने मैंने बहुत मदद करी। मैं ताज्जुब हो रहा है, आज हो रहा है हमको ताज्जुब कि हम बेवकूफ़ थे या हम बहादुर थे। हमने अपनी जान की भी परवाह नहीं की, हम भी तो उसमें मर सकते थे। जो भीड़ भागती हुई आ रही है वो कुलियों के ऊपर भी आ रही है मैम, लेकिन कुलियों ने पूरे जी जान लगा करके उनको उठाया और लेकर के बाहर भागे। कई बच्ची तो ऐसी थी जो एक और रो रही थी कि मेरी बच्ची मर गई। उस 4-5 4 साल बच्ची को लेकर के हम जब भागे तो 2 मिनट बाद देखा तो उसकी बच्ची को होश आ गया मैम, वो रोने लग गई और डगरा उठी। वो मेरी बेटी जिंदा हो गई। बताइए आप ये अगर बेटी हो और बच्चा हो आपका और मर जाए, 1 मिनट के लिए वो मर जाए और दूसरी मिनट आपको खबर आप देखो कि आपका बेटा जिंदा है, आपकी बेटी जिंदा है, आपको कैसा महसूस होगा मैम? उस माँ को देख कर हम फिर दोबारा भाग गए 14 नंबर की तरफ, फिर 2-3 बच्चों को बचाया हमने। बहुत खतरनाक मंजर था।
And while 18 people have been killed in the stampede, 11 of them have been injured. However, there are still some people who are still finding for their missing relatives. Listen into what they have to say.
मैं शादीपुर डिपो रहता हूँ। शादीपुर डिपो से आया था पांडुवर से, और आया तो यहाँ 8 बजे के बाद यहाँ पे ऊपर में भीड़ थी, तो हम लोग आया, धीरे धीरे भीड़ होगी, आगे निकलते जाएंगे। लोग निकल रहे थे, लोग अब बीच में आके फंस गए, न पीछे जाने की जगह रास्ता, न आगे जाने का रास्ता। प्रशासन कोई है ही नहीं यहाँ पे, कोई देखभाल करने वाला नहीं कि हाँ भाई रुक जाओ, बिठा जाओ, आगे निकल जाए। निकलने वाले को इधर से जा भी रहे थे लोग, उधर से आ भी रहे थे लोग, एक साइड से जा रहे थे, एक साइड से आ रहे थे। LNJP गया हूँ, वहाँ गया, क्या नाम है, लेडिंग हार्डिंग गया हूँ, वहाँ भी आया हूँ। फिर यहाँ पुलिस पे यहाँ रिपोर्ट भी दर्ज करवाया हूँ यहाँ पे। तो ये कह रहे हैं कि चलो शाम तक देखता हूँ, कुछ खबर मिलता है तो मैं बताता हूँ। मोबाइल नंबर एड्रेस दे के आया हूँ वहाँ पे।
पता नहीं चल रहा है, कल से लापता है उनका। हाँ, ट्रेन में जा रही थी कुंभ नहाने के लिए।
कौन सा ट्रेन था?
कोई ट्रेन उनका टिकट नहीं था, वैसा ही जा रहे थे, कोई से ट्रेन से भी जा रहे थे।
कौन से स्टेशन से?
नहीं, हाँ रेलवे स्टेशन से।
तो क्या नाम है इनका?
मीना देवी।
अच्छा, तो क्या आपको कंप्लेन कराई? आपने किसी से पूछा, कोई जानकारी मिली?
अभी कोई कंप्लेन नहीं कराई है। अभी अंदर बोल रहे हैं कोई बॉडी, मरने वाले की बॉडी नहीं है, यहाँ पे सब चले गए हैं।
और कौन था इनके साथ?
और भी इनके साथ है, किसी का फोन नहीं लग रहा है।
किसी का फोन नहीं लग रहा है? कितने लोग थे साथ में?
हाँ, 4-5 लोग साथ में थे, कंपनी के इनके साथ जो जॉब करते थे उन्हीं के साथ में आई गई थी। किसी का फोन नहीं है, किसी का फोन नहीं लग रहा है।
Speaking of the administration, the Railways Department has washed his hands off from the tragedy and put the onus on the crowd. Listen in to these contradictory reactions.
दिल्ली रेलवे स्टेशन पर आज शाम यात्रियों की संख्या आम दिनों से काफ़ी अधिक रही और उसी के मद्देनज़र रेलवे ने नियमित गाड़ियों के अलावा 4 विशेष गाड़ियों का परिचालन किया। कुछ समय के लिए वहाँ पर यात्रियों की संख्या काफ़ी अधिक हो गई थी और जिसके चलते वहाँ पर भीड़ अधिक हो गई।
प्लेटफॉर्म 14 पर मगध एक्सप्रेस जो पटना जाती है वो खड़ी थी और प्लेटफॉर्म नंबर 15 पर जम्मू की तरफ जाने वाली उत्तर संपर्क क्रांति खड़ी थी। इसी दौरान फुटओवर ब्रिज से जो 14-15 नंबर प्लेटफॉर्म की तरफ सीढ़ियाँ आती हैं, उस तरफ एक पैसेंजर के फिसलने की वजह से उसके पीछे के लोग इसकी चपेट में आ गए और एक दुखद घटना घटित हुई। बाकी इसकी जांच उच्च स्तरीय समिति द्वारा की जा रही है और मैं आपको फिर से बताना चाहूँगा, ना कोई ट्रेन, जैसा कि कई जगह ये बात आ रही है कि कोई ट्रेन कैंसिल की गई थी, कोई भी ट्रेन ना कैंसिल की गई थी, ना ही किसी गाड़ी का प्लेटफॉर्म बदला गया था।
And UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has also reacted to the stampede, saying that he pays tribute and condoles the lost lives. Listen in to that reaction.
कल दुर्भाग्य से नई दिल्ली रेलवे स्टेशन पर एक दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना घटित हुई। मैं इस अवसर पर उन सभी पुण्य आत्माओं को विनम्र श्रद्धांजलि भी अर्पित करता हूँ। कल दुर्भाग्य से नई दिल्ली रेलवे स्टेशन पर एक दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना घटित हुई। मैं इस अवसर पर उन सभी पुण्य आत्माओं को विनम्र श्रद्धांजलि भी अर्पित करता हूँ।
दिल्ली रेलवे स्टेशन पर कुंभ जाने के आपाधापी के बीच ये दर्दनाक और दुखद घटना, ऐसी सूचनाएं लगातार मिल रही हैं कि ट्रेन पर चढ़ने के लिए आपाधापी हो रहा है। पटना में भी आपाधापी की सूचना मिली, लोग शीशा तोड़ रहे हैं। तो निश्चित रूप से रेलवे को इस संबंध में एकदम कड़ाई के साथ नीति बनाना चाहिए और यात्रियों को परेशानी नहीं हो और साथ ही साथ उनके जान माल की रक्षा हो। इतनी मर्मांतक और दर्दनाक घटना है कि दिल दहल जाता है। जब नई दिल्ली रेलवे स्टेशन पर ऐसा हो सकता है तो कहीं भी हो सकता है, जहां सिक्योरिटी का बड़ा इंतजाम रहता है। इसलिए इसको रेलवे को अविलंब गंभीरता से संज्ञान में लेना चाहिए।
रात रेलवे स्टेशन पर 18 लोग मारे गए। भारत के लोगों का, हमारे भाइयों का कोई हैसियत ही इस देश में नहीं रह गई है। और जब तक भारत सरकार को फुर्सत ही नहीं है 3 तलाक से, यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड से, वक्फ से, लोग मर रहे हैं तो मरने दो। भारत सरकार, बीजेपी की सरकार सिर्फ नफरत की राजनीति कर रही है। उसे कोई परवाह नहीं है कि रेलवे एक्सीडेंट का इंतज़ाम किस तरह होना है, प्रयागराज में किस तरह इंतज़ाम करना है। उसी का ये नतीजा है कि हर रोज़ इतनी तकलीफ़ की खबरें आ रही हैं।
And while there are several versions that have come to the fore on what actually led to the chaos, here's the timeline of the events that unfolded last evening at the New Delhi railway station. It was at 9:30 p.m. when the stampede occurred at the New Delhi railway station. The exact time of the stampede was 9:30 p.m. as confirmed by officials. Soon after that, the incident took place at platform number 14. Remember, we learned that about 1,500 general tickets were sold, after which the chaos took place at platform number 14. At around 9:55 p.m. is when a call was received from the station regarding the incident. So half an hour after the stampede had happened is when a call was received from the railway station. At around 9:55 p.m. again is where 4 fire tenders were rushed to spot, keeping in mind the chaos that had led to the stampede, in which many people were already injured. At around 11:20 p.m. is when the Railway Ministry had issued an official statement. So 2.5 hours after the stampede had already taken place, many versions had come to the fore. It was the Railway Ministry that had issued a statement, and late at night is when the Delhi Police Commissioner arrived at the station to assess the situation. Crucial to note here that it has been more than 14 hours. However, the FIR has still not been lodged into the incident. Again, late at night is when the Director General of RPF had reached this station, keeping in mind the security measures that it had to remain intact after the stampede had already taken place. 11:40 is when the NDRF team had arrived at the railway station for assistance. Many of the injured people were shifted to the LNJP hospital. We are keeping you up to date on the latest on the top story. Politics, remember, has already ensued over this, with Lalu Prasad now saying that Kumbh is useless and demanding Ashwini Vaishnav's resignation. All that and much more after a break.
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
कुछ समय के लिए वहाँ पर यात्रियों की संख्या काफ़ी अधिक हो गई थी और जिसके चलते वहाँ पर भीड़ अधिक हो गई।
कई जगह ये बात आ रही है कि कोई ट्रेन कैंसिल की गई थी, कोई भी ट्रेन ना कैंसिल की गई थी, ना ही किसी गाड़ी का प्लेटफॉर्म बदला गया था।
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Welcome back, friends. Contradictions galore, still questions to be answered, and in some cases, missing relatives. That's the situation more than 18 hours after the stampede at the New Delhi railway station, and that's our focus story. And before that, let me get you the headlines. "18 dead in a stampede at the New Delhi railway station on Saturday evening. Railways orders a high-level probe." Sources say that a wrong announcement was made that led to the confusion and chaos at the railway station.
प्रयागराज से गाड़ी आ रही थी 16 पे और 14 नंबर पे प्रयागराज जाने वाली गाड़ी का अनाउंस हुआ था। उसी में लोगों को समझ में नहीं आया, इधर से उधर भागे। अब प्रशासन कितना संभालेगा।
Key eyewitnesses in the case speak to Republic say the chaos was caused after announcement. Union Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav meets Home Minister Amit Shah, briefs him about the mishap that happened last night.
बहुत दुखद हुआ है, एकदम लापरवाही है कांग्रेस के। रेल मंत्री को इस्तीफा करना चाहिए।
Politics. So a stampede case, opposition blames government for the negligence. RJD chief Lalu Yadav demands Ashwini Vaishnav resignation. All right, friends, before we go to the railway story, a breaking news coming in from Bengal, where RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat has asserted that those who cannot accept the true nature of Bharat, that is India, or could not accept, chose to break away and formed a separate country back in 1947. Speaking on India's diversity, Bhagwat emphasized that India always thrived on inclusivity. Let's listen in exactly to what Mohan Bhagwat said.
अगस्त 1947 के बाद ऐसा नहीं है, वो उससे भी प्राचीन है। बहुत प्राचीन है। अगस्त 1947 के बाद ऐसा नहीं है, वो उससे भी प्राचीन है। बहुत प्राचीन है। जब दुनिया के इतिहास ने आंखें खोली तो उसने इस भूभाग पर, जिसको भूगोल में इंडो ईरानियन प्लेट कहते हैं, इस भूभाग पर रहने वाले सबका यही स्वभाव पाया। वो स्वभाव क्या है? विश्व की विविधता को स्वीकार करके हिंदू चलता है। सभी की अपनी अपनी विशिष्टताएं होती है। हिंदू जानता है कि ये विशिष्टताएं जिस एक सत्य का आविष्कार है, वो सत्य एक ही है। सृष्टि के चराचर जगत में, जड़ चेतन सब में वही एक है जो नहीं बदलता, जो पहले भी था, आज भी है, कल भी रहेगा, वो शाश्वत है। बाकी सब बदलते रहता है। वो बदल भी उसी एक की अभिव्यक्ति होती है। और इसलिए हम आजकल कहते विविधता में एकता। लेकिन हिंदू इसको जानता है, इसलिए जानता है कि वो ये समझता है कि ये एकता की ही विविधताएं हैं, विशिष्टताएं हैं, एकता का श्रृंगार है। और इसलिए अपनी अपनी विशिष्टता पर श्रद्धा पूर्वक चलो, सबकी विशिष्टताओं का सम्मान करो।
All right, Mohan Bhagwat in Bengal for 10 days is speaking to RSS activists and pracharaks. Moving on and coming back to our focus, which remains the national capital and the stampede at the New Delhi railway station that took place last evening, where 18 people have lost their lives and 11 others left injured due to the chaos that prevailed owing to weekend rush to go to Prayagraj for Kumbh. Platforms 14, 15 and 16 is where the stampede took place, as also the footover bridge between those platforms. And among the victims, 14 were women, 5 were minors, all of which 2 of them were below 10 years of age. Meanwhile, the centre has taken up the matter, of course, and inquiry ordered. But the fact is that there are too many contradictions more than 18 hours after the stampede, and the authorities are still not on the same page as to the series of events. If you look at the timeline, which is on air for you viewers, you would realize that there was a complete absence of oversight in those few minutes, which led to the chaos. Information suggests that almost 1,500 unreserved class tickets were being vended every hour, were sold every hour as a build-up to the stampede. Now, was there a connection between those tickets sold and the carrying capacity of the station and the platforms is something the authorities need to answer, the railway authorities. Also, the railways officials seem to be contradicting themselves when it comes to the exact reason which led to the stampede. In fact, earlier in the day, one official was dismissive and suggested that it was because of one passenger falling while coming down from the footover bridge, which led to the stampede, and not the announcements that were made, which the police now seems to be suggesting led to chaos, confusion, and hence the stampede. Let's listen into some of the relative sound bites that are coming in, which shows that even 18 hours after the stampede, even some of those passengers are still missing. Some of the relatives are still missing. Listen in.
मैं शादीपुर डिपो रहता हूँ। शादीपुर डिपो से आया था पानवर से, और आया तो यहाँ 8 बजे के बाद यहाँ पे ऊपर में भीड़ थी। तो हम लोग कहा धीरे धीरे भीड़ होगी, आगे निकलते जाएंगे। लोग निकल रहे थे लोग, अब बीच में आके फंस गए, न पीछे जाने की जगह रास्ता, न आगे जाने का रास्ता। प्रशासन कोई है ही नहीं यहाँ पे, कोई देखभाल करने वाले कि हाँ भाई रुक जाओ, बिठा जाओ, आगे निकल जाने निकलने वाले को। इधर से जा भी रहे थे लोग, उधर से आ भी रहे थे लोग, एक साइड से जा रहे थे, एक साइड से आ रहे थे। LNJP गया हूँ, वहाँ गया, क्या नाम है, लेडिंग हार्डिंग गया हूँ, वहाँ भी आया हूँ। फिर यहाँ पुलिस पे यहाँ रिपोर्ट भी दर्ज करवाया हूँ यहाँ पे। तो ये कह रहे हैं कि चलो शाम तक देखता हूँ, कुछ खबर मिलता है तो मैं बताता हूँ। मोबाइल नंबर एड्रेस दे के आया हूँ वहाँ पे।
पता नहीं चल रहा है, कल से लापता है उनका। हाँ, ट्रेन में जा रही थी कुंभ नहाने के लिए। वही ट्रेन का टिकट नहीं था, वैसा ही जा रहे थे, कोई से ट्रेन से भी जा रहे थे।
कौन से स्टेशन से?
नहीं, हाँ रेलवे स्टेशन से।
तो क्या नाम है इनका?
मीना देवी।
अच्छा, तो क्या आपको कंप्लेन कराई? आपने किसी से पूछा, कोई जानकारी मिली?
अभी कोई कंप्लेन नहीं कराई है। अभी अंदर बोल रहे हैं कोई बॉडी, मरने वाले की बॉडी नहीं है यहाँ पे, सब चले गए हैं।
और कौन कौन था इनके साथ?
और भी इनके साथ है, किसी का फोन नहीं लग रहा है।
किसी का फोन नहीं लग रहा है? कितने लोग थे साथ में?
हाँ, 4-5 लोग साथ में थे, कंपनी के इनके साथ जो जॉब करते थे उन्हीं के साथ में गई थी। किसी का फोन नहीं है, किसी का फोन नहीं लग रहा है।
All right, seems chaos is still there and some unanswered questions. Let's try to piece together the series of events. We have Riyanka and Akhil both live from the New Delhi railway station. And if I could come to you first, Akhil, you just had a conversation with the DCP Railways a while back. What's your sense? You've been there at the railway station since morning. You have been trying to piece together the facts. Did mismanagement and lack of oversight play a role in the stampede? Was anyone watching CCTV cameras for the crowd, and was their response put in place to take care of that crowd?
In short, absolutely yes, Abhishek. Because if you see, I have been speaking to some of the senior police officials in the Delhi Police Department, and they are saying that at that point in time, if you see, there were 3 different trains which was bound to be on railway platform number 14. Here you can see, I would like to move a little bit forward and show you the visual of platform number 14. Here, one train number Swatantrata Senani Express, which was delayed. Second train, which was Bhubaneswar Rajdhani Express, which was delayed. And third train was Prayagraj Express. So 3 trains were over here, 3 trains passengers were over here, which were bound to leave from this very platform where that incident took place. And if you see, I would like to move a little bit more forward and show you the visual of platform number 12. Here you can see where you can find a yellow colored train over there. From there, another train which was supposed to go to Prayagraj was stationed over there. And at that point in time, an announcement was made that Prayagraj special is going to leave from platform number 16. So there was a confusion, and confusion was with the starting name. One train which was at platform number 14 was named as Prayagraj Express. Second train which was at platform number 16 named as Prayagraj Special. People thought that the announcement which was being made for platform number 14. So they started moving from that side, from platform number 12 side on this footover bridge, and they started to come towards this very side. I would like to move a little bit forward and show you the visual of this very stairs. Here you can see from 3 different directions, people have started to come towards this side. So at that point in time, a stampede broke out when a kid fell, and then everybody started to create panic. And then what we have seen that an unfortunate incident took place, which led to the deaths of 18 people. Here you see, I would like to move a little bit more forward and show you the visuals. Here you can see, this is not a broken plastic piece. This is a metallic piece. This is an iron rod. Here you can see, this is a grill part which has been broken after the incident. So what basically happened at that point in time, Abhishek, that people have moved from this very side, from the side of Ajmeri Gate. Here you can see, there are 2 different sides at New Delhi railway station. One is towards Ajmeri Gate side, where I'm standing, which goes towards platform number 16 side. So people were coming from this very side as well, and second side is towards the Paharganj side. Some people were coming from Paharganj side as well. And adjacent to that, in the north direction, if you see, there is an escalator. So there were 3 directions. From these 3 directions, people started to move and just come towards the side of platform number 14, where that incident took place. Now, the second part of your question, Abhishek, is on the investigation part. Right now, what's happened that Railway Ministry has given an order to probe this entire incident, and a committee has been formed. A 2-member high panel committee has been formed in this regard, and senior officials from the railway arrived over here this morning, and we have spoken to them. We have confronted them regarding that incident as well. Yes, right. Abhishek.
Right. Thank you so much, Akhil, for those details and piecing together facts for us. Hopefully some of it would help the investigators also. Let me go to Riyanka, though she is there at the railway station. She has in fact been at both the places, railway station now and before that at the LNJP hospital, where most of the injured and those who lost their lives, their mortal remains were taken for post-mortem. Riyanka, can we say that now the situation is normalizing, that the railways have managed to put systems in place so that crowd control is better now? Are you getting a sense of that kind from the New Delhi railway station?
Yes, absolutely. As you rightly mentioned, that there is proper measurement and steps that have been taken in order to control the crowd. Because, once the incident had happened yesterday evening, this area where I'm currently standing, platform number 14 and platform number 15, I'm right between that area. This area was cleaned. And all the belongings of the people that was spread all over was also taken away. In fact, the cleaning work was done, the maintenance work was done as early as this morning itself. And because, the trains cannot stop. Which is why there is a constant movement of trains coming in and going in both the platforms. On 14 and 15, on both the platforms, the movement of trains are continuing. And what I have understood here, that the officials, several, officers of the RPF are constantly monitoring the situation here. In fact, I had witnessed a crowd that was moving towards that very staircase where the entire situation happened. There were officials who were blowing the whistle in order to control the crowd. In fact, on top of the footover bridge where the pressure had come in from initially, there are also several officers who are present, who are constantly monitoring the movement of the crowd and asking them not to stand at that very juncture in order to avoid any situation that had happened yesterday. On the other hand, let us also understand, because of this situation, the tragedy that took place yesterday, the railways have been hit, the movement of trains have been hit. In fact, a while ago, there was an announcement made for top trains such as Rajdhani Express moving towards Howrah and Sialda. They have been delayed for more than 6 to 7 hours, and people are already here waiting for that train to come in. Around 4:50 was the time for Howrah Rajdhani. But for now, the crowd has not built up. The crowd has not built up, given that information has been given timely, unlike yesterday where there was an entire confusion that was created. But yes, the situation is under control and the officials are well monitoring the position of the crowd here.
More question, Riyanka, before I let you go. We just a while back heard some sound bites of relatives who are still searching for their missing. By when you think everyone would be accounted for? Is there a possibility that those missing might also have lost their lives? I mean, it sounds bad, but it's been more than 18 hours and still some people are missing.
That's right. Republic got in conversation. My colleague Akhil got in conversation with one of such a victim who was a part of this very tragedy yesterday. He had in fact lost his wife in the crowd. Apparently, he said that they were holding hands and that got uncontrolled because of the crowd which was formed here. So they were moved apart from each other. And since then, since last night, he is unable to meet or get any information about his wife. The person also told us that he was, moved to LNJP hospital. He in fact went to Lady Harding also. Let me also tell you for our viewers that the list of the names and identification of the patients who have lost their lives have already been done. So it looks like the missing person is still somewhere out there, and the efforts from the side of the police is being made in order to look for those missing. But as of now, we have to wait and see how far, and how much time does it take for the stakeholders to come out with accountability, because there are several versions of what exactly happened, several contradictions from the side of the railways. Some say there were cancellations, some are saying there were delays, and some say there was an announcement problem. There needs to be a proper concrete, information that will come out once the report, after the two-member committee submits the report, once their investigation gets completed, comes out. That is when we will understand what exactly happens, what exactly happened last night, and who has to be accountable for this.
Absolutely, of course. Everyone waiting for that report. It might take a while, but already the railways have been speaking in some contradictions. Just some time back, the DCP Railways, KPS Malhotra, visited the site again, and that's when Akhil caught up with him. Let's listen to him.
हमारी तरफ से जो प्रोसीडिंग थी, that was inquest proceeding. We have done as per the time frame. उसके अलावा जो भी इंसिडेंट कल हुआ, उसके जो भी फैक्ट्स हैं, that are being probed by the railways. and they have formed a very high-powered committee with the esteemed members. Let them come up with the expert opinion. So we'll be waiting for that.
Did you recover all those CCTV cameras, footages which have been installed over?
That is being done by Railways.
Right. And what the next step? Authorities. What's the next step forward in the inquest?
Yes.
What's the next step forward in that time?
As far as that investigation is concerned, is a part of railway authorities. As far as management of the situation is concerned, is a part of RPF and us being Delhi police in charge of the railway station. So we are doing that, right.
Did RPF mention anything to the Delhi police about the security arrangements over here? Because there was a large number of people who have gathered on platform number 14 at that point in time when the incident took place.
Yesterday, no doubt the crowd was unexpectedly high, and there was some delays as well. And those points, I think what happened yesterday is definitely very important point. But let the expert opinion come on that. What's happening today is the most important point right now. So let us do that.
Right. So are you taking any special measure today onwards regarding any trains going towards Prayagraj?
They have regularly deploying the special trains, and even the regular trains are being run for Prayagraj, and whatever footfall is there, it's being managed.
All right, and before this, Republic confronted the Northern Railway Principal Chief Commercial Manager Narsingh Dev with some tough questions. Listen in.
Right, I'm joined by a senior RPF official. क्या सिक्योरिटी की चूक है? 18 लोगों की जान गई है. क्या ये सिक्योरिटी की चूक है? 18 लोगों की जान चली गई है. इसके लिए कौन जिम्मेदार होगा?
ओके सर, आप यहाँ पे स्पॉट पे आए हैं.
जिम्मेदार कौन है?
आप एक-एक करके बात करिए. आप बताइए.
18 लोगों की जान गई है. इसके लिए कौन जिम्मेदार होगा? Right now, I'm joined by senior RPF official. Just a second. Yes. So here you see, I'm going to move forward and try to speak to senior officials over here. Just a second.
प्लेटफॉर्म बदलने के बारे में कोई सूचना मिली आपको?
Just a second. हाँ. अच्छा, ये जिम्मेदार कौन है? कोई ना कोई तो जिम्मेदार होगा ना. रेलवे को इसकी जिम्मेदारी लेनी पड़ेगी. 18 लोगों की जान गई है. I'm just asking a question. Let me just ask a question. 18 लोगों की मौत हो गई है. उसके लिए जिम्मेदार कौन है? 18 लोगों की मौत का जिम्मेदार कौन है? सर, जो कमेटी बनाई गई है उसके आप मेंबर है. कोई जानकारी मिली थी? जो कमेटी बनाई है गई है उसके आप कोई जानकारी के लिए जिम्मेदार. Here you see, I'm just trying to ask question. Could you please allow me to ask question? I'm just asking a question. So here you see, we have been just trying to ask question to those senior officials, and they are saying that at this point in time, the investigation is going on. We cannot comment on it. So at this point in time, in the Delhi mishap case, what we are seeing that no FIR has been filed so far in the case, and 18 hours have passed. But here you can see the security arrangement has been beefed up. I spoke to senior officials in the Delhi Police Department, and they are saying that we are taking measures of the situation at this point in time after the incident took place. And if you see, at this point in time, several people who have got injured in this entire incident are also being treated at LNJP Hospital and Lady Harding Hospital. Keep watching Republic TV. We'll be right back after a short commercial break.
ਦੇਖੋ ਬੜੇ ਲੰਬੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸਟੇਜਾਂ ਤੇ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੇ ਸਮਝ ਵੀ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਕੇਂਦਰ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਵਿਤਕਰਾ ਧੱਕਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਮੌਕਾ ਮਿਲੇ ਉਹ ਜਾਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੰਦੇ। ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਦਨਾਮ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ, ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨੂੰ ਬਦਨਾਮ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਮੌਕਾ ਮਿਲੇ ਉਹ ਜਾਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੰਦੇ। ਔਰ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਉਹ ਕਿਸਾਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਮਸਲਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹ ਪੰਜਾਬ 'ਚ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਦਾ, ਭਾਵੇਂ ਕੋਈ RDF ਦਾ ਪੈਸਾ ਰੋਕ ਲਿਆ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦਾ ਰੋਕਿਆ। ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨਵਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਸਾਜ਼ਿਸ਼ ਦੇ ਅਧੀਨ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਦਨਾਮ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਤੋਂ ਟਰੰਪ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਬਣੀ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਡਿਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਨੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਮੁਲਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਗੈਰ ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਗਏ ਸੀ। ਤਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਜਹਾਜ਼ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਲਾਇਆ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਸੀ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 33 ਗੁਜਰਾਤ ਦੇ ਸੀ, 33 ਹਰਿਆਣੇ ਦੇ ਸੀ, 30 ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਸੀ, 2 ਮਹਾਰਾਸ਼ਟਰ ਦੇ ਸੀ, ਇੱਕ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਚ ਉੱਤਰਾਖੰਡ ਦੇ ਸੀ। ਤੇ ਚਲੋ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਜਹਾਜ਼ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਾ ਲਿਆ, ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਟੇਰੀਆ। ਹੁਣ ਦੂਜਾ ਜਹਾਜ਼ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੀ। ਦੂਜਾ ਜਹਾਜ਼ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਉਤਰੂਗਾ ਜੀ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ। ਕਿਉਂ ਜੀ? ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਚੁਣਨ ਦਾ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਟੇਰੀਆ ਦੱਸੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੇਂਦਰ ਸਰਕਾਰ, ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰੀ ਆਫ ਐਕਸਟਰਨਲ ਅਫੇਅਰਸ, ਵਿਦੇਸ਼ ਮੰਤਰਾਲਾ। ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਉਂ ਚੁਣਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ? ਬਦਨਾਮ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਚੁਣਦੇ ਹੋ, ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਦਨਾਮ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਚੁਣਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ। ਹੱਦ ਹੈ ਬਈ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੈ ਡਿਪੋਰਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ। ਪਹਿਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ, ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਮੋਦੀ ਦਾ ਜਹਾਜ਼ ਵੀ ਹਵਾ 'ਚ ਹੈ, ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਤੋਂ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਟਰੰਪ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ, ਤੇ ਮਗਰੀ ਉਹ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ, ਇਹ ਗਿਫਟ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਬੇੜੀਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਜਕੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਸਾਡੇ ਭਾਰਤੀ। ਆ ਗਿਫਟ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਨੇ ਟਰੰਪ ਨੇ, मेरा दोस्त, मेरा मैं, मेरा ये, मेरा मैं तो उनको ट्रंप बुलाता हूं, अकेला ट्रंप कैसे हो, हाउडी मोदी, है ना। अब की बार ट्रंप सरकार पता नहीं की नारे दे के आ गिफ्ट लेके आ रहे हो तुसी, कोई गल करके आए ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ। जिस वेले मोदी ते ट्रंप की गल चल रही सी उस वेले वो
Very warm welcome, viewers. You're watching Republic TV and I'm Rakshita Mishra with you this Sunday afternoon. We continue to track all the latest updates coming in over the Stampede. There are 18 people who have been killed, viewers, and there are multiple discrepancies that have emerged. Now the question, of course, remains: was it there's too much of crowd? Was it overcrowding? And even if there was overcrowding, why was there no management of the crowd? We'll get you more voices from Ground Zero and how Republic TV has confronted the officers as well. First, the headlines. "18 people killed in a stampede at the New Delhi railway station on Saturday evening. Railways orders high-level inquiry." Sources say that a wrong announcement was made that led to the confusion and chaos at the railway station.
प्रयागराज से गाड़ी आ रही थी 16 पे और 14 नंबर पे प्रयागराज जाने वाली गाड़ी का अनाउंस हुआ था। उसी में लोगों को समझ में नहीं आया, इधर से उधर भागे। अब प्रशासन कितना संभालेगा।
Key eyewitness in the case speaks to Republic, says the chaos was caused after the announcement. Union Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav meets Home Minister Amit Shah, briefs him about the mishap.
बहुत दुखद हुआ है, एकदम लापरवाही है कांग्रेस के। रेल मंत्री को इस्तीफा करना चाहिए।
Politics over Stampede case. Opposition blames government for negligence. RJD chief and former railway minister Lalu Yadav demands Ashwini Vaishnav's resignation. All right, viewers, we have breaking news coming in right now. What we know is that the Prime Minister, as promised in the run-up to the just concluded Delhi Assembly elections, has BJP has now started to work on cleaning the Yamuna, and trash skimmers, weed harvesters and a dredge utility craft already starting cleaning operations in the river today. Delhi Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena met the Chief Secretary and ACS and asked them to start the work immediately. So remember, the Prime Minister, the BJP in fact had promised to clean up the Yamuna, and we see from today onwards the cleaning up of Yamuna has begun. As promised by the BJP, you can see the trash skimmers and the weed harvesters and a dredge utility craft in operation. So viewers, that is the process that is underway. This is the footage coming in from Yamuna. In fact, Yamuna Aarti has also begun in the past few days. There are visuals that have come up from the Yamuna Ghats where Aarti is happening these days. And now the cleaning of Yamuna has begun as promised by the BJP after its landslide victory ahead of the election. In fact, it was part of their manifesto. And of course, the Chief Minister, who will be the next Chief Minister, that announcement is still awaited. But the work has begun. All right, viewers, we shift our focus back to the biggest story that we are tracking, the stampede that killed 18 people and injured 11. The accountability lies with who? That is the biggest question. Who is responsible? And that the people behind this, people responsible should be punished. That is, of course, the biggest demand right now. You can see the timeline, viewers, how it all unfolded, how after 9 p.m. the chaos erupted. Then incident took place at platform number 14 around 9:30 p.m. People were falling off, and they were all in fact falling over each other. And then there was a massive stampede. And then at 9:55, a call was received from the station regarding this incident. And thereafter, 4 to 5 tenders were rushed. Ambulance was also rushed. And 18 people, it includes women and children, lost their lives. Several of them were injured as well. And viewers, there are multiple versions that have emerged. The railways last night were talking about how there were 2 new trains that were in fact deployed. And there was announcement, but in the morning they completely contradict their version. The eyewitnesses on ground who Republic TV spoke to say have a different version. They speak about the change in the platform. They speak about a certain announcement that led to the chaos. So viewers, we'll just get you a lowdown of the entire sequence of events. We'll try and understand what really happened for all of you who've just tuned in, so that break it down for you what really has happened, because all this happened on a weekend night. 9:30 p.m. is when the stampede occurred at the New Delhi railway station, and later on 9:55 was the time when what we understand 9:30 is when there was massive chaos and ruckus at platform number 14. This is what has been confirmed by the Delhi police. Incident took place at platform number 14. And then around 9:55 p.m. a call was received from the station regarding the incident that there have been people who have been injured, people are fainting, so on and so forth. Around the same time, 4 to 5 tenders were rushed to the site after the call was made, and thereafter we saw even ambulances being rushed. 11:20 p.m., much later, after hours, Railway Ministry issues a statement of a stampede, and that too downplaying it, saying everything is fine and it was just a rumor. And then late night, Delhi Police Commissioner arrives at the station to assess this situation. And then thereafter, we see there were some statements being made condemning the loss of lives that in fact pointed and confirmed that there have been casualties. Late night, we saw the DG, RPF also, the police force, the Railway Police Force Director General also reaching the New Delhi railway station. That was late night. Then 12:40 a.m. again late night. The NDRF team arrives at the railway station for further assistance. And there was chaos, viewers. There was massive chaos. People were crying, lying on the floor. Their belongings were scattered across. Today it has been all cleaned up. And that's what we've shown in the report of the aftermath as well. But there you see the visuals. You can understand how jam-packed that station was, that platform was. And the amount of, the kind of, the magnitude of this entire incident is quite understandable in all of this. In fact, we've spoken to multiple people who are the kin of the victims. Many people are still missing, viewers. We have to understand that. And we do not have a number about that. Take a listen in to the relatives of those people who are missing.
मैं शादीपुर डिपो रहता हूँ। शादीपुर डिपो से आया था पांडुवर से और आया तो यहाँ 8 बजे के बाद यहाँ पे ऊपर में भीड़ थी। तो हम लोग कहा धीरे धीरे भीड़ होगी, आगे निकलते जाएंगे। लोग निकल रहे थे लोग, अब बीच में आके फंस गए। न पीछे जाने की जगह रास्ता, न आगे जाने का रास्ता। प्रशासन कोई है ही नहीं यहाँ पे, कोई देखभाल करने वाले कि हाँ भाई रुक जाओ, बिठा जाओ, आगे निकल जाने दो निकलने वाले को। इधर से जा भी रहे थे लोग, उधर से आ भी रहे थे लोग। एक साइड से जा रहे थे, एक साइड से आ रहे थे। LNJP गया हूँ, वहाँ गया, क्या नाम है, लेडी हार्डिंग गया हूँ, वहाँ भी आया हूँ। फिर यहाँ पुलिस पे यहाँ रिपोर्ट भी दर्ज करवाया हूँ यहाँ पे। तो ये कह रहे हैं कि चलो शाम तक देखता हूँ, कुछ खबर मिलता है तो मैं बताता हूँ। मोबाइल नंबर एड्रेस दे के आया हूँ वहाँ पे।
पता नहीं चल रहा है, कल से लापता है उनका। हाँ, ट्रेन में जा रही थी कुंभ नहाने के लिए।
कौन सा ट्रेन था?
वही ट्रेन, उनका टिकट नहीं था, वैसा ही जा रहे थे। कोई से ट्रेन से भी जा रहे थे।
कौन से स्टेशन से?
नहीं, हाँ रेलवे स्टेशन से।
तो क्या नाम है इनका?
मीना देवी।
अच्छा, तो क्या आपको कंप्लेन कराई? आपने किसी से पूछा, कोई जानकारी मिली?
अभी कोई कंप्लेन नहीं कराई है। अभी अंदर बोल रहे हैं कोई बॉडी, मरने वाले की बॉडी नहीं है यहाँ पे, सब चले गए हैं।
और कौन कौन था इनके साथ?
और भी इनके साथ है, किसी का फोन नहीं लग रहा है।
किसी का फोन नहीं लग रहा है? कितने लोग थे साथ में?
हाँ, 4-5 लोग साथ में थे। कंपनी के इनके साथ जो जॉब करते थे उनके साथ में गई थी।
5 लोग में
किसी का फोन नहीं है, किसी का फोन नहीं लग रहा है।
Joins us from the LNJP hospital where many of the victims were taken, and my colleague Akil Jamil continues to stay with us from the New Delhi railway station. Akil, well, there are many people who we heard are still looking for their loved ones. Many people have lost their loved ones, and many of them are still looking, and it's a very harrowing experience for them because they are completely clueless and they are frustrated and they don't know where to go.
Well, Rakshita, if you see, it's very tragic for them as well. I spoke to 2 people over here, and they are saying that they came over here with their loved ones, but around 10 p.m., if you see, because the incident took place at around 9:25, 9:30 p.m. So around 10 p.m., they started looking at their relatives. They hoped that their relatives might be in the crowd itself, but unfortunately, they could not able to recognize them. They could not able to find them, and then they went from this very railway station where I am standing towards Lady Harding Medical College and Hospital, because most of the patients were sent to Lady Harding College and LNJP Hospital. So at that point in time, most of them went, because if you see, I have showed them the list which has come out of 18 persons who have lost their lives in this tragic incident, and in that list they were not able to recognize the name of their loved ones. So this is a very tragic news for the family at this point in time. Apart from that, if you see right now, the situation of at New Delhi railway station is pretty normal. I'm going to move forward and speak to some people over here. अच्छा, मुझे ये बताइए, कहाँ जा रहे हैं आप?
हम कहीं नहीं जा रहा हूँ, छोड़ने के लिए आया हूँ।
आप छोड़ने के लिए आए? अच्छा, ये भी एक चक्कर है कि हम जब देखते हैं कि लोग स्टेशन पे आते हैं तो एक लोग जाते हैं तो 2 लोग साथ में छोड़ने भी आते हैं, है ना? अच्छा, आप कहीं जा रहे हैं क्या?
झाझा जा रहे हैं,
बिहार झाझा जा रहे हैं
जी।
साथ देखिए, लगेज भी बहुत है। एयरपोर्ट पे जो है वो इस तरह का सामान नहीं दिखता है, एक लोग के साथ कम सामान दिखता है। यहाँ पर आपको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों के साथ लगेज भी दिखेगा। यहाँ देखिए, एक साहब है, इनके साथ 4-5 लगेज जो है वो दिख रहा है। हर फैमिली के साथ आपको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जो है वो लगेज दिखेगा। Let me just try to move and speak to few people over